that. So we will be discussing on that. But before that, obviously, as the ritual, I would like to confirm if I am audible or not. So just give me a second. Okay, for some reason, I don't know why we don't have the proper thumbnail here. Mm, yes, I am loud and clear. Awesome. I am loud and clear, and I don't know why today we don't have the thumbnail. We made sure that it should be visible, but still that is looking okay. Again, I don't know what is happening. YouTube has messed up the algorithm, whatever that is. Fine. So today the most important topic which we have to discuss is the future of Android development. Majority of the students, if I talk about, are more inclined towards artificial intelligence. Some are inclined to web development, full stack development, Java development, and whatnot. Here comes the situation where you are now developing Android applications. You are developing Android applications, and now your question is, does it have a future? So this is what we are going to discuss today. And obviously, if you're seeing me live, please give a thumbs up, give me some motivation, and please make sure that people are able to see this. And obviously, share this live session, guys. Obviously, every day at 9 p.m. I come live to make sure that you guys get the answers to the questions which you are having. It's all related to your career. I want to make sure that all your questions are answered. So please make sure that at 9 p.m. every single day, sometimes except Sunday, I'm live. So let's quickly get started. First of all, first thing first, what is Android development? Android development is a field in computer science, and we can say it's not technically a field, it's kind of a industry, if I say, where we make applications for the handheld devices. Right now I'm streaming this video using YouTube Android application. Now this application was developed by Android developers at Google or Alphabet or YouTube, whatever you want to call it. Why they did that? Because right now I don't have my laptop. Thanks Asus for that. But what do I have is I have a medium, or I would say I have a small device with me with which I can reach out to the world, and I can also solve your queries or the questions which you have. So what we are doing, we are leveraging these handheld devices, if I talk about, and one operating system which is dominant in the handheld device era is Android. And this is what we are going to discuss today. Now, the reason why we are discussing about the future of Android development, because usually what happens when you go to various YouTube channels, including my channel, if I talk about bigger YouTube channel, they always say one thing: learn DSA, learn Java, learn this, learn that, go for cloud, go for blockchain, go for full stack development, go for software development. But rarely someone talks about Android development. So this is a very crucial question which a student has, and someone even today asked me this question, like, what is the future of Android development? So this is what we are discussing. If you have a question right now, please put that in the live chat. You will get the response right away, because obviously I'm live. Secondly, if you still don't have a question, or maybe if you want, you can actually join our community. All the details are available in the description. Now, first of all, let's try to understand, is the future of Android development stable? The answer is yes, because the number of devices, or I would say number of handheld devices, are obviously growing 5x, 4x compared to the laptops or the desktop, which are kind of a fixed machine, or I would say big screen machines. So as an individual or as a developer who is thinking of making a career, you are potentially talking to a customer base of more than 2 billion people, more than 2 billion handheld devices. I'll repeat, you are now talking about the customer base of more than 2 billion people. So you can imagine what is happening. iOS alone, iPhone alone has 1 billion user base. Just imagine you have kind of a monopoly that nobody can compete there. Now, what do I mean by nobody can compete? Is like it's an ecosystem where you have to follow just a set of rules, and obviously you will be the winner there. So this is what we are talking about. Secondly, when it comes to Android app, users now prefer an application compared to a web application. I'll give you a reason behind that. If I talk about my mother does not know how to operate a laptop, even though she is more than 50 years old. If I talk about the Gen Z, they find everything on their mobile phone compared to their laptop or their desktop. So the use cases, or I would say the requirement, or I would say the efficiency of using an mobile application compared to a desktop or a laptop is more. So the future for Android development is obviously good, no doubt behind that. But the question is, what should I do so that I can stay relevant? Because one negative point with Android development is that if you're fully fledged into Android development and if the company does not have the Android app, they don't need you. I'll repeat, if the company does not have an Android app, they don't need you. Majority of the companies, if I talk about ourselves, in our company, we don't have an Android application, so we are not using an Android developer. So the question is, what can I do? So you have to make sure that you are actually top notch. You're learning everything related to Android development. You are upskilling yourself. Now, there are few challenges for you as an Android developer. First of all, when we talk about building Android application, there are two cases where company think and company question your ability. Can you make cross-platform applications? What do I I'm sorry. What do I mean by cross-platform applications? I mean, can you make iOS application as well as Android applications so that just by making one application, I can conquer both the operating system? Or can you make native application a great application? A native application is basically an application, or I would say Android application, which can run only on an Android device. But a hybrid application, or I would say cross-platform application, will only work on, it can work on both iOS as well as Android. So what you have to do, you have to make sure that you are thinking about this point of making cross-platform application or single OS applications. Now, what languages do you have to learn? So if you're going for native development, you can learn Java, which is again the most famous language to make Android application. You can learn Kotlin. Again, a second language which is quite famous. Or you can learn something which is new, which is Flutter. A new framework to actually develop cross-platform applications. But we are not limited with Flutter. If I want to make cross-platform application, first option is Flutter. Second option is React Native, or I would say JavaScript. What this does is, when I use Flutter, when I use JavaScript, or I should say React Native or Angular Native or Native Script, if I talk about various applications or platforms with which I can make cross-platform applications, I use a common language, and with that language, I make the OS application, which is Android as well as iOS. Advantages and disadvantages. Well, when you're building cross-platform applications, there are something which is missing in the cross-platform application, and that is the support of operating system 100%. These applications, you have to remember, these applications are running over top of a platform. So if that platform has some disadvantages, if that platform has some weaknesses, your application is not going to work out. So you have to understand one thing, that when you're building cross-platform applications, they do come with some disadvantages. When you're building native applications, it also comes with the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? Well, when you're building native applications, you can only serve one operating system. Either it can be Android, either it can be iOS, not both. So why I'm discussing this? We are talking about future of Android development, and I'm talking about how to build Android application. Wrong. What I'm discussing is the future. So let's say if you want to join a company where they have both the customer bases, they have customer base of Android and they have customer base of iOS, you will be more than pro that you have to learn cross-platform applications. You have to learn how to develop cross-platform applications. A good example, Swiggy, a good example, Flipkart, a good example, Zomato. These companies are having like users from both the operating system, Android, iOS. So the future is very good for Android developer in Swiggy, Zomato, or I would say Flipkart. An example. Let's talk about applications, or let's talk about companies which are actually focusing on just one single operating system. Now again, I cannot be very sure about which company is just focusing on one operating system. Usually in India, what happens, majority of the new companies or startups start with Android applications because the user base of Android applications or Android users is bit more compared to iOS. But in America or in the European countries, I have seen usually developers prefer launching iOS applications compared to Android applications. So in those companies, there is no need of an Android developer right now because they are currently focusing only on iOS developers. So I hope you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. Now, what can I do so that I can grow my career as an Android developer so that I don't have to be worried about recession? I should not be worried about getting laid off. So the answer is quite simple. If you have learned Android development, make sure you are not just an Android developer, you should be able to develop iOS applications also separately. Plus, you should be able to build cross-platform applications. Why? Because let's say if a company has that requirement, you should be able to satisfy that requirement. You should be able to satisfy that requirement. Secondly, you should now be learning about cloud, using cloud APIs to actually enhance your Android application. A simple example is Firebase. If you're not sure about what is Firebase, Firebase is basically backend as a service kind of a thing, I would say. So in Firebase, you don't have to worry about building a huge backend. You can use Firebase to store your data, and you can the front end part of that could be an Android iOS application or both the applications of both operating systems if I talk about. So if you're learning Firebase, if I talk about, so you don't have to rely on a full stack developer who's going to build APIs for you and he's going to give you the API with which you are going to fetch the data for the Android application or push the data from the Android application to the backend. You can leverage Firebase and you can make a fully fledged application which has data storage, which has user base, which has front end, everything. That's it. So leverage cloud, leverage Firebase, or I would say backend as a service, because this is going to give you immense learning opportunity and this is going to give some badges which companies would crave. Companies would come to you and they will say, hey, I want someone who can do this. So guys, that's what I wanted to discuss. If we talk about in conclusion, the future of Android development, the future of Android development is great, especially with the inception of virtual reality, especially with the inception of virtual reality, or I would say augmented reality, because now people are more focusing on these devices with which they can do a lot of things. Yesterday I was using Snapchat and I was blown away. Snapchat has so many features, and Snapchat is an Android application as well as iOS application. So if you're planning to make your career in Snap, if you know Android development, you can make your career there. So inception of these applications or new features are actually making great opportunity for future Android developers. If I talk about specifically, if I talk about Android developers, I don't want to get into iOS developers right now, but you have to make sure one thing: constantly upskilling yourself, constantly making sure that you're learning new things, constantly making sure that you are actually upgrading your knowledge base as well as learning from the community is going to be very important. Because being an Android developer sounds great, but you are kind of sitting in an isolation. You're kind of sitting in an isolation. If a company does not need an Android developer, you won't find a job. That's very brutally honest. If a company does not need an Android developer, you won't find a job. Every company needs a full stack developer because they have a web application. They know that they have to store the data. one way or the other. It can be either SaaS based application, consumer facing applications, or just the application for the internal usage, but they need that. So I don't want to scare you, but I want to lay down the ground rules quite simple. If you're planning to make your career in Android development, the scope of the future, I would say the future is quite bright, but only for the people who are working towards it, or I would say who are hard working towards it. So that's it, guys. Now I'm opening the live session for live Q&A. I can see around 4 people live with me. So obviously put down your questions in the comment section, whatever questions you have, and I'm going to respond to your question one by one. I want to make sure that this is interactive. Whatever questions you have, I am now open to answer them. So guys, if you have questions related to Android, iOS, data science, full stack development, cloud computing, whatever that is, put that in the comment section, and I'm going to make sure that you get the answers live right away. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm not getting any questions. Maybe my phone is not helping me get those questions right now, which is kind of strange. Fine, guys. So what we are doing, we are going to post a community of our WhatsApp community link. We are going to post in our chat section. Please make sure that you are joining that link. Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys in the comment section. So please make sure that you are joining our WhatsApp community. You will get all the details related to your career and everything in this particular community, and you will enjoy it a lot. So I have posted this link. I hope that is clickable. Yeah, Shikhar, hi. If you have a question, please shoot me the question. And I have posted this link, and I have even pinned this comment. This, I would say, the link of the WhatsApp community, so you can make sure. Yes, Shikhar, you had a question. Please let me know what is the question. Okay, what technology used for developing Android application? Okay, great, good question. So basically, there are 2 ways you can develop Android application. One is native applications, or second is cross-platform application. Native applications are only going to support one operating system, which is Android. To develop those applications, you need to learn either of the programming language, which is Java or Kotlin. Now, if you want to make some applications which can be supported both in iOS as well as Android just by developing one single application, then you can learn Flutter or React Native. These are 2 preferred choice. Now, apart from this, you need to learn one tool, which is Android Studio. You need to learn Android Studio, which is a fully fledged IDE, which is one of the most awesome IDE with which you can actually learn your Android development, or I would say you can start building your Android application. One suggestion I would say in an extra, use a live device. So let's say if you are using your phone right now, make sure you are testing your applications from your phone itself, because this is going to give you a more robust experience of developing those applications compared to using emulators or simulators. Because what happens, emulators or simulators do not have a very good do not have a very good development environment, so the experience degrades and you're not able to test out in a real environment. So Shikhar, I hope I have answered your query. Yes, guys, this live session is only for you. This live session is only for you. So whatever questions you have, post them right away and I will be able to answer them. And okay, Shikhar has got the answer. Awesome. And guys, I would request, please join our community, the WhatsApp community, which we have shared, the link which I have shared with you guys, so that you can get the information about the next live session or what we are learning. And obviously whatever we are coming with. So right now we would be doing our boot camp, but the problem is my laptop is with Asus, so that's why we are not here. Fine. So Shikhar got the answer. Anyone else who has a question, please post them. Okay. Harsh has a question. What is the salary a fresher can expect in Android in a decent company? Harsh, you can expect up to, I would say, 4 to 5 LPA. 4 to 5 LPA as a fresher with I would say, internship experience is going to be awesome. So, Harsh, I just want to understand in which year you are in right now. Which year of your college? Like, what is the year of your college right now? But to answer your question, if you're a fresher, you can expect a very good 4 to 5 LPA. Okay, you are in third year BCA. Sorry, BAC. I don't know what. Okay, yeah, BCA. Fine. So you are a final year student. You can expect good 4 to 5 LPA in a decent company. But I would recommend that since this is your final year, please have some internship experience related to Android applications, Android application development. But still, if you don't have it, one thing which I would suggest to you is please start developing Android applications, host them on GitHub, and there are free stores where you can host your application as well. So if I talk about Google Play Store, when you want to upload your application on Google Play Store, it is going to cost you around $25. But obviously, a lot of students don't have this kind of a money. So what you can do, there are few Android stores which allow you to upload or share your Android application with the world for free of cost. One of such application is F-Droid. I'll repeat this. If you wish to host the Android application for free of cost, one such store is to store your, distribute your Android application is F-Droid if I talk about. And you can also search on Google like free stores to upload and share your Android applications. Yes, Amazon App Store is also there, which offers you to upload free, distribute your Android applications for free of cost. I'm not sure about the Microsoft Store right now. Again, I'm not sure about it right now, so I cannot comment. But Harsh, this would be my recommendation. You can expect 4 to 5 LP in a decent company, but do not go without internship experience. If you're not able to find internship, please make your portfolio strong. How to make a portfolio strong? Open YouTube, start cloning various Android applications and start uploading and hosting them on GitHub. I promise you, you will find a job. You won't find a job. Companies will find a job for you. That's my promise. That's my promise. Okay. So I hope this has answered your query, Harsh. Any other questions from anyone? Obviously, I can see 3 people, which is an amazing number for me right now. Anyone else has a question? Or should I conclude this session? Okay, fine. So guys, what you can do right now, there is a pinned comment. Join the WhatsApp community of ours and you can ask questions there also. I'm going to be making sure that you get all the answers related to whatever questions you have. So you can answer that. And I see a new live member. So obviously, if you have any questions, I'm going to give you guys another, I'm going to give you another 3 minutes. At 9:25 I'll end the session. So guys, I come live every day 9 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. Sunday is conditional. I'm not sure about it because a lot of things happen. So the live session happens every single day at 9 p.m. So that is a guarantee from my side. I'm going to make sure that you are getting live session at 9 p.m. Whatever questions you have related to your career, I am here to answer them. Guys, 2 more minutes are remaining because I have to make sure that I am ready for the next schedule which I have with me. Okay, awesome. So I feel that the learning Android will be enough, or we should learn hybrid or iOS. See, Harsh, again, I would recommend first of all learn native Android development. That means building application just for the Android applications. Then go for hybrid so that you will be able to learn Android applications. You will be able to build Android as well as iOS applications. and then go for simple iOS applications, because I'll give you a disadvantage here. If you want to build an iOS application, you need a Mac, you need an Apple device, you need an Apple iPhone, and you need a MacBook, or I would say Apple laptop or a desktop to develop these applications. You cannot do it on Windows, or you cannot do it on Linux. So start with Android, then move to hybrid, that is Android plus iOS, and then move to iOS alone. In this kind of a way, you will be able to learn all of it, and you will be able to enhance your skills as well. I hope this has answered your query. Okay, fine, guys. So that's it for today. Please make sure you are joining our WhatsApp community. And for further questions, I'll be live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Or if you have other questions, WhatsApp community is there. Let's make something big. Bye bye, and I'll see you tomorrow.